Israeli cabinet members entering a tense meeting, followed by headlines. Leaked Gaza wire report sparks political firestorm. Netanyahu faces fallout. A political earthquake is shaking the foundations of Israel's government. A leaked internal investigation into Israel's conduct things during the 2024 Gaza war has triggered a storm of backlash, fueling public outrage, dividing the ruling coalition, and putting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu under intense pressure. The report that shocked Israel. Redacted document pages were footages and images of Israeli military operations in Gaza. The report, compiled by a classified military review board, details major failures in planning, intelligence, and civilian protections during Israel's 2024 offensive in Gaza. Among the most damning revelations, senior commanders reportedly ignored warning about Hamas tunnel networks. Civilians' evacuation zones were adequately communicated. High-level officials were accused of politicizing key military civilians. Where Israel's officials claim the campaign was necessary to neutralize Hamas, the report paints a picture of optimizing desire and misjudgment, especially in densely populated areas like Haifa and Khan Yunis. Coalition in crisis. Nation fairy speeches, cabinet ministry walking out. The political fallout has been swift and fierce. Several ministers, including moderators in Netanyahu's fragile coalition, have publicly distanced themselves from the Prime Minister's wartime decisions. Defense Minister Yoav Gallant reportedly threatened to resign unless Netanyahu accepted for responsibility. Meanwhile, Benny Gantz, second National Unity Party, is considering quitting the coalition altogether, a move that could collapse the government. Israel deserves a government that is transparent, accountable, and protected its people, not one that hides behind accuses. Public outcry and international pressure. Protest in Tel Aviv. International news coverage. Families of hostages. On the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, thousands have protested demanding resignations and a full public inquiry. Families of Israel hostages held in Gaza have joined the chorus, accusing Netanyahu's government of neglecting rescue efforts and falling its to priorities diplomacy. Internationally, the leaked report is raising new questions about Israel's compliance with humanitarian law during the war. The UN and several European governments have called for an independent investigation, while human rights groups are reuniting calls for accountability. What comes next? Netanyahu delivering a national address, political analysts discussing possible outcomes. In a televised national address, Prime Minister Netanyahu defended his decision, argued that Israel faced an existential threat and that the war achieved its objectives. Netanyahu said that we act to protect Israel's lives and dismantle a terror regime, not to win headlines but to ensure survival. But when his approval ratings plunging and coalition allies through threatening to bolt, Netanyahu may be fighting for his political life. Analysts say early elections are now a real possibility, especially if the nest moves to dissolve itself in the coming weeks. As Israel reckons with the laziness of its war in Gaza, the question is not just who gave the orders, but whether the country's current leadership can survive the fallout. Israel's Gaza reckoning. Will Netanyahu survive the storm? Subscribe for continued coverage of Middle East politics and global affairs.